it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and welcome back to my channel where I make a lot of cake and cookie decorating tutorials as well as give a lot of baking business tips. So come along with me today to fulfill an order. This was one of those cakes that from start to finish, everything went super smoothly, so I'm going to be giving you a lot of tips and tricks on how I made that happen, so when you're making this cake at home, it can go smoothly for you as well. The trick for a smooth cake decorating process is making sure that everything is timed correctly and that you don't rush steps. Every single time I rush, that's when I run into problems. So after I took the cakes out of the oven, I got started on all of the fillings as well as the buttercream. And I am just going with a very simple ganache this time around, a 2-to-1 ratio, so about 2 cups of dark chocolate to 1 cup of whipping cream. And you'll notice that I heated the whipping cream on the stove and then I poured it over the chocolate. I didn't want this ganache to be too soupy and I wanted it to maintain its shape and body inside the layers of the cake, so I decided to add about 50 grams of salted butter. And honestly, I just eyeballed it. It's not a big deal. If you mess up, it'll all work out. I mean, everything tastes better with butter. The only stipulation is you do want to make sure that that is room temperature butter so it incorporates really nicely in the ganache. I then whipped up my Italian meringue buttercream, and if you want to know exactly how I make that, you can check out this video in the upper right hand corner. But one thing I did do is I made sure to whip that buttercream at a low setting for a longer time so it was extra smooth and extra dreamy. I was also a little bit pickier with the way that I was sectioning all of these layers. I wanted things to be ultra even, and notice here, I am ensuring that I have a really, really big border to hold and encase that ganache. Nothing is worse than when I don't do a big enough border, or a high enough border, I should say, and then there's not enough filling and things are spilling out the side. Here is sometimes where I make the mistake, especially if I'm rushing. I do not let that set in the fridge just with those ganache layers in there long enough. This time I left it in there for a good 30 minutes. Even though I was running low on time, I gave it that time on the front end so that things would be much easier at this step. One thing I also did to ensure that my buttercream would be nice and smooth is when you're using Italian meringue buttercream, I've noticed that a crumb coat isn't always the way to go. If you're covering it with fondant later, then it really doesn't matter. You can totally do a crumb coat. But what I've noticed sometimes, if I do a crumb coat, place it in the fridge, and then go back and try and put that Italian meringue buttercream over top, sometimes I get a lot of bubbles and it just ends up looking a little bit chunkier. Then I have to go back in with my immersion blender and I have to re-whip everything and heat up that Italian meringue buttercream again. This way, I get to skip all of that headache and just go straight in. So that's why I also forced myself this time around to use a piping bag. I personally can't get that buttercream coverage right when I just use a spatula. Some people can, I can't. I decided to take that extra step, which allowed me to create a much smoother base the first time around. And because there's not that cold icing underneath, I'm not getting that kind of chunkier look. Then I proceeded as usual using this bench scraper, but off camera I did heat this up with my gourmet torch just to really give it a much smoother appearance. And I also got a new cake stand. I don't know if you guys noticed, but my boyfriend bought me this for Christmas and I just have fallen in love with it. It's just so smooth and it just turns so easily and I can get a way smoother coat on the outside. There definitely are a few imperfections here and there on the sides of the cake, but I knew that this was going to be covered in little hot dogs, so I just decided to leave it. Oftentimes, I get really nitpicky and then I keep going and keep going and keep covering and keep covering, but I think this is why this order went so smoothly. I knew that there was going to be a bunch of hot dogs covering those little imperfections, so I didn't even bother with it and I just moved on. Who else's favorite part is putting the swirls on top of a buttercream cake? Because that is my absolute favorite part. Now, I was trying to copy a photo, so I wanted to make sure that my swirls looked pretty close to the swirls that they wanted. It's funny how when you're doing your own style of swirl, you can go a lot faster. And this is kind of one of those things where you're not sure if the client really liked those particular swirls or not, but you rather just not take the chance and do your best to try to mimic what was in the photo. I didn't want to be too risky with things, so I did place that in the fridge overnight so that in case I made a mistake with the hot dog part, I could scrape it off and there wouldn't be any severe repercussions. Can I just say, I love it when a cake only has 3 different buttercream colors. It makes things much easier for me. And here I am pointing out all of the little imperfections that I need to cover up. So here's the tip that I'm going to use to create the wiener portion of the hot dog. This part does take some finesse. See how part of it can come up like that? You want to squeeze very, very evenly, stop squeezing, and then just pull up. And I kind of pull back up towards the start of the wiener so that it kind of looks a little bit more flat. As I was piping these, I kept thinking they kind of looked like little Good and Plenties all over the cake. Also, mixing this correct color was really tricky. A little bit of brown, a little bit of red, but you got to keep going until you get something that looks relatively correct. Now we're going in with the mustard, and this was actually the easiest and most fun part for me. Yellow is yellow, so it was really easy to mix this part up, and I'm just using a number 2 tip here and squiggling everything back and forth. I know some people get really freaked out about piping on the side. Even professional cake decorators get freaked out because maybe that's just not your strong point. That is why I do recommend to place this in the fridge beforehand if you're nervous about that, just so you can scrape off and try again. This bun color was also a little bit difficult to come up with. It's just a touch of brown, like a very, very slight touch. And then I ran it all through the same piping bag as the yellow, so I'm getting that little hint of yellow as well. I will forever love decorating 6-inch cakes. I just love that my buttercream recipe fully covers a 6-inch cake perfectly, and I get enough leftovers so that I can do as many details as I want. Now, this is where it does get tricky if you're an at-home baker, because you don't want to be making a ton of different colors and a ton of buttercream that you're not necessarily going to use up on another cake. So I did have to be quite sparing with how much of each color I made, so I really didn't want to mess this up. I know writing makes a lot of people nervous, and honestly, if it makes you nervous, I really do suggest you get a projector just so that you can take some of that nervousness out of the equation. I personally just like to go in and do it. But once again, like the swirls, it is a little bit of stop and go because I was trying to make the font look similar to the picture that was given to me. I wish I could show you a video of the wiener candles that the client got for this cake because it really just sealed the deal for this entire thing. And as per usual, I always let the client know that they should put this in the fridge if they can, but it can stay out no problem in just regular room temperature, but don't leave it in your car. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading every single day, so be sure to come back tomorrow to see what I upload. And guys, I have been reading every single one of your comments in the last month. It has been so great to see how supportive you are and how much you all love baking just like I do. So be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye!